We're going to call the Northfield Township Planning Commission meeting for September 3rd to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Thomas, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Kennedy. Here. Mr. Zarzaki. Here. Mr. Stanleycho.
Present.
Ms. Chip.
Here.
Ms. Gannon. Mr. Gordon. Here. Mr. Thomas is here.
All right, very good. Unless there's objection, I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
All right, motion by Stanleycho, support by Ms. Chick. Are there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. We're going to move on to the call of the public so that everybody knows we have two public hearings tonight. If you want to speak at either one of the public hearings, I encourage you to wait till we get to that point. You'll have your opportunity. You still have the option, if you want to make a statement here too, but you'll just so we don't have a redundancy. So if anybody would like to make a statement and to call the public, please come up, state your name and your address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Okay. Seeing.
The audience can see we're broadcasting.
Pardon me?
The audiences can see us we're broadcasting.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we'll move on. Any clarifications from any of the commissioners? Okay. Correspondence. We got a late correspondence in yesterday, correct? Was it today? Today? Yes. Yeah, all right. And everybody got a chance to read that? Okay. And you amended the packet online? Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to public hearings. So that everybody's aware of the public hearing is we're going to call the public hearing to order. Then we're going to let the applicants or our planning consultant make a presentation depending upon which one we're doing here. So the first one will be for the rezoning request. That will be the applicant can make a presentation, then our zoning administrator. No, actually it will be the planner / zoning administrator. And then we'll have the call to the public so anybody can speak during that time. Then we'll close the public hearing and we'll move on to the next one. So, all right, I make a motion to open the public hearing for consideration of a request to rezone 6.1 acres located in the northeast corner of East North Territorial and Jomar Drive, known as 955 East North Territorial, and that is case number JPC 250005. And that's parcel B0220100020. And the request is to rezone from RTM, which is Research Technology and Manufacturing, to LI, and that's limited industrial.
I'll support.
All right, motion by Stanleycho, support by Chick. Well, I think we'll do a roll call vote for this, please.
Mr. Kennedy. Yes. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Zarzaki. Yes. Mr. Stanleycho.
Yes.
Ms. Chip.
Yes.
Ms. Gannon. Mr. Thomas votes yes. Mr. Gordon. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the public hearing is now open. So if there's a representative from the applicant, please feel free to come up and make your presentation. Well, preferably one at a time. I mean, you don't have to. You can just leave it as it is. It's not required for you to do that. It's if you don't want to say anything, it's totally your prerogative. Okay. All right. Very good. All right, Ms. Christian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. So the request before you tonight is from Chris and Nick Marinkovic. They're petitioning for rezoning of a 6.10-acre parcel that is located at the northeast corner of East North Territorial and Jomar Drive from its current designation, which is RTM, Research Technology Manufacturing, to LI, which is light industrial. Now, the site is occupied by an existing building that was formerly Arvind Sango North American Technical Center and associated parking lot and improvements. At this time, that business no longer is there, and it's a vacant building and site. A summary of the site and the existing zoning, the subject parcel and all of the parcels to its north, west, east, and south are all currently zoned RTM, Research Technology Manufacturing. And the future land use designation for all of these parcels, including the subject site, is industrial. Now, there are several review considerations that are taken into account when we are reviewing a proposal or a request for rezoning. The first one is the current zoning designation, RTM. So now the existing RTM zoning allows for a variety of uses by right, which include but are not limited to research and testing labs for industrial, scientific, and business entities, administrative, professional business offices, and many other uses. It also permits some uses as special land uses. All of these uses are regulated by specific performance standards. So if you look at the zoning ordinance, the RTM district has got a specific list of items that must be met by uses that fit into this district. It's very specific to RTM. This district, with the specific standards, states a prohibition on outdoor storage of vehicles, equipment, supplies, or products. It prohibits outdoor processing, assembly, repair, or other operation. It also prohibits outdoor display of goods, materials, products, equipment, or processes. Now, when you look at the LI zoning district, now the applicant's petition is based on a specific user that they want to occupy this building. Rezoning is done to a district, not for a use. So if the site is rezoned to LI, it means it will permit every single use in the LI district in its entirety. It is not being rezoned for a single use as described by the applicant. So the Planning Commission and the township has to consider it as an industrial parcel, period, not specific to a user. Now, the LI zoning allows for light manufacturing and limited industrial uses, and many of these uses allow for outdoor storage of vehicles, equipment, supplies, and products, along with outdoor displays as part of their business operations. So the innate nature of uses that are permitted in the LI is completely contradictory to what is permitted currently in the Research Technology Manufacturing District. My review letter summarizes a whole bunch of uses that are permitted by right and by special land use in the LI district. Now, some of these have additional standards, which basically talk about screening, so on and so forth, but overall, most of these uses anticipates that there will be outdoor activity also on the site in addition to anything being done inside a building. One of the main things to review when looking at a rezoning is consistency with the master plan. Now, the master plan's designation is industrial. The critical difference between a master plan and a zoning ordinance, a master plan is a policy document. It sets forth the vision for the area. So the master plan does not break it up into district. The master plan will call something industrial. Now that will translate into specific districts in the zoning ordinance. For instance, if the master plan says commercial, that commercial translates into local commercial, neighborhood commercial, general commercial, so on and so forth in the zoning ordinance. Similarly, the industrial designation in our master plan is compatible with light industrial, general industrial, and research technology manufacturing. All these three districts are considered industrial in the master plan. Each of these districts allows for industrial use of a specific type based upon where these parcels are located and the impacts of industrial activities on the neighboring uses and adjacent parcels. Now, if you look at light industrial use, it's currently limited to areas on both sides of Whitmore Lake Road, south of North Territorial Road, and also there is a single parcel on the southeast abutting the railroad owned by Washtenaw County Road Commission. South of this property, that is owned by the Road Commission, that is light industrial. Now, general industrial parcels, it's the most heavy industrial designation within the township. Most of these parcels are essentially consolidated near the 8 Mile interchange, west of 8 Mile interchange and US 23 interchange. There are a few parcels on the east side of the railroad, west of Noller, These include where formerly there used to be a solid waste facility that is no longer there, the Ann Arbor Kennel Club. So even though it is zoned general industrial, it does have uses of a much lower key, such as the Kennel Club in there. RTM zoning designation currently is in only one area of the township, and that is in and around where the applicant is asking. The applicant's site is right in the middle of the RTM designated area of the township. The proposed rezoning will end up creating a single parcel with a different zoning designation in the middle of an area with RTM zoned parcels and is not consistent with the master plan. The industrial designation noted on the future land use plan actually translates into RTM zoning, consistent with what currently exists on the parcel itself. Now, there is a specific section in the zoning ordinance that has got standards based upon which findings of fact are to be made when taking action on any rezoning. I'll summarize these in brief. The first is whether the zoning change is justified by a change in conditions since the ordinance was originally adopted, or if there was an error in the zoning ordinance. There has been no change in that area or any of the surrounding conditions to justify this rezoning at this time. In fact, the proposed rezoning would create something called as a spot zone. A spot zone is an individual parcel of a different zoning designation compared to everything around it, and spot zones are not legal under Michigan state law. The second criteria is the precedence and the possible effect a precedent-setting action like this might cause. Now, the rezoning being inconsistent with the master plan, which is typically used as a guideline whenever you're reviewing any request for rezoning. So if this parcel is rezoned to LI, there is a precedent set for similar requests from all of the other parcels in that area to be changed to limited industrial. If you can change one, you can change all of them. The third is the capacity of the township or any other government agency to provide services or facilities. Change in the zoning is not going to really impact that. There is an existing building site there with existing sewer provided to it. So it's not going to impact the township's ability to provide services to the parcel. The fourth criteria is effect of approval on the condition and or value of property in the township or in adjacent municipalities. This property does not border any adjacent municipality that is located with us. However, it is likely to have an impact on the nearby properties. Just a few months ago, the Planning Commission and the Township Board of Trustees approved a mixed-use project for multiple family residential and commercial uses less than 0.18 of a mile or 1,000 feet to the west of the subject site on the south side of North Territorial. Opening up this area to industrial uses compared to the RTM that is located over there, industrial uses by their innate nature generate noise, dust, fumes, odor, and other things which are governed by performance standards, but nevertheless can be a source of nuisance to residential properties. And it can have an impact on their value and for the quality of life features for those residents who will be coming in there. The final criteria is relation of the petition to the adopted land use development plan of the township or other government units where applicable. This is the same criteria as saying, is it compliant with the future land use plan that the township has adopted? And as I have summarized previously, it is not. Based upon our review of this proposal, it is our recommendation that the Planning Commission recommend to the Township Board of Trustees denial of the applicant's request to rezone this parcel from RTM to LI for the 8 findings of fact that are noted in our review letter dated August 22nd of 2025. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I think we'll probably wait till we get into our deliberations to ask questions. So. All right. Anybody from the public wish to come up and make comments? Okay, seeing as there's none. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. Let's try that again.
Chris
Now-
Marinkovich, 328 6 Mile Road. You made comment that there are no adjacent parcels that are light industrial, but earlier in your comment, you noted not more than a stone's throw away, there is light industrial, and it is one parcel, and that's for the Washtenaw County roads. So I guess I'm not clear on that.
Mia?
Sure.
So I've summarized the current zoning designation. So the current zoning designation of the subject site and all the parcels around it currently is RTM. That is the zoning designation. But further down the street, I noted when I was summarizing the existing location of the LI, the general industrial, and the RTM uses, I summarized all the parcels that are located, and I noted the fact that there is one LI parcel that is located down the street over here. But the subject site and the parcels immediately abutting it are all RTM at this time. So that was the clarification I was trying to make.
Gotcha, okay. I guess I really have. You also made comment about the future plan being industrial. Is that, can you clarify that for me? Because I'm getting mixed signals when then you say it's not part of the master plan. So could you clarify that?
Yes, I can provide a clarification,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
So the master plan is a policy document. The zoning ordinance is the law that must be followed. So master plan guides the zoning decisions, but zoning ordinance is what must be followed. Now, master plan specifically says this area shall be residential, this area shall be industrial, this area shall be commercial. It will not break it up into zoning districts. The existing land use patterns that are in there currently existing are the ones that dictate which districts they translate into. So for instance, if you look at the future land use plan map, most of the township is shown around Whitmore Lake as small-scale residential. That actually translates to SR1 zoning district, which is about 10,800 square feet, SR2, which is 7,500 square foot lots. But the master plan will just call it residential. Based upon the existing pattern, if somebody comes before the board and says, I want to rezone a parcel over here to residential, depending upon its location, the Planning Commission will appropriately designate that as SR1 or SR2. So in this case, it is industrial, but that industrial translates to 3 different industrial categories. And the existing development pattern for this area is RTM, so it translates as RTM for this area. That's what it means.
Okay.
It's a little confusing. There are 2 documents. One guides, the other is the law.
But it's not entirely outside of the industrial zone. Those 3 zones exist in that industrial zone that you're talking about.
Industrial is a land use category. RTM, LI, and GI are the zoning districts.
Okay.
So
So that Washtenaw roads, they're on their own. They're a single parcel light industrial, which you also had mentioned earlier that you made comment about that being against the law.
So that parcel has existed in that configuration for a really long time. I don't know at what point of time it was zoned that, so it's at least in the last, that road commission parcel has existed for a really long time. This commission or the previous commission has not rezoned it, so you would have to research the history to see how it came to be LI, but no, it was not rezoned by the
Perfectly
commission.
fine. Just letting everybody know that it's literally a stone's throw away. I just kind of wanted to let that be known. And also, I believe this building has sat vacant now for quite some time. And I believe even the building just to the north has been a bit vacant as well. So it wouldn't be completely out of the realm to say that maybe RTM isn't the best fit for this area based on that. And I'm also not saying that changing to light industrial, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, being that it's sat vacant for quite some time, there's nobody beating down the door to move in there. And we are. We want to stay in this township. We operate in this township. We're trying to abide by the rules in the ordinances that we have. Obviously, we've outgrown where we are, which is general commercial. So here we are trying to better the community, stay in your community. There's a lot of money that would be invested into this. So that's really all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Can we simply recognize the letter that we received from Dickinson Wright representing ETI in opposition to the rezoning? I was wondering if we could just recognize for the record the letter of opposition from Dickinson Wright, who represents Balance Technology, Inc. Just recognize it for the record.
I'm just fine. I mean, I'd mentioned that we had the correspondence, during correspondence, that was the one that was referencing. But
I just,
sure.
for
Yep,
reference.
sure, okay, sure. All right. All right, I make a motion to close the public hearing. All right, motion by Stanilecho, support by Zarzeki. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, the motion carries. We'll go on to our next public hearing, which I'm going to make the motion to open the public hearing for consideration of the proposed amendment to Section 36-715 of the zoning ordinance to clarify standards for fences for in-ground swimming pools. Okay. Motion by Stanilecho and support by Chick. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. So the public hearing is open for this also, Ms. Christian, so since you're the person driving this, so.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason this amendment was brought up is not to add any new, I want to provide clarification. The township is not placing any new regulations on property owners. It is merely clarifying the language in the existing zoning ordinance that has been in effect and the way projects have been reviewed. All in-ground swimming pools have been required to provide a fence around the pool. Now, the building code has got a provision where you can provide an electronic pool cover, powered safety cover or electric cover. The building code says that. That does not mean that a property is exempt from zoning code. Under state law, building code is followed along one path, zoning code is followed along another path. Unless state law specifically provides for an exemption that the building code overrules it, both codes are equally applicable. In this case, putting a pool cover as required by the building code is an applicant's prerogative. They can put it if they want to. But the zoning ordinance requires a fence, irrespective of whether there is a pool cover or not. And every single swimming pool that has been approved in the township, at least since 2016 that I'm aware of, has been required to put in the pool fence. The pool fence is required in our zoning ordinance for public safety and welfare. It is to protect and prevent a child or somebody from falling in. Pool covers are electric. They can malfunction. Sometimes owner's error can result in the pool cover not being turned on, and the cover they might have just overlooked covering up the pool after using it, and that becomes an open hazard. And that is the reason why the zoning ordinance has got the requirement for a pool cover. Recently, a project came about where there was this confusion where a property owner said, I have an electric pool cover, I shouldn't have to put up a fence. No, you can put up the pool cover to meet the building code requirements. That does not exempt you from the zoning code. The zoning ordinance currently requires it. We just added language in clarifying saying that this is for in-ground pools. Above-ground pools generally come in height of 4 feet already. So they sort of meet the 4-foot barrier requirement. Typically, above-ground pools have steps that go up to a deck area, and those are typically locked. We do review them. This is for pools that are in the ground itself, where it's easy for somebody to fall into and not be able to get out. So that is the clarification that is being made over here. And under the exemption section, also a clarification is made. Fences on residential lots that are larger than 5 acres and not located in a recorded subdivision shall be exempt from the provisions of subsection D1. So D1 basically says if any property is used for a residential use, only ornamental type fences can be in the front yard, and within the front yard setback, the fence cannot be more than 3 feet in height. That is a rule that is not applicable to parcels 5 acres and larger. And these requirements, the entire fence ordinance, is not applicable to fences around farmland. We are not changing that. The only thing we check when we review a fence for a farmland is to make sure that the fence is actually placed on the applicant's property. We have had situations where fences have been put in without proper surveys and they've been on the neighbor's property. So the only thing we check when we do farmland fencing is to make sure that the farmer is putting the fence on their property and the fence is not blocking a clear vision corner at an intersection so that people can still see. We do not regulate the height, the design, or any of that because farmland fences have always been exempt and they'll continue to remain exempt. So this ordinance is just clarifying the ordinance the way it's been interpreted for all these years and the way it's been applied for all these years.
All right, thank you. Any discussions on that, or we want to wait? Yeah,
I just had one question. If the fence is a safety feature, why are any pools exempted? Why are pools in the rural area exempted as opposed to in subdivisions? I just don't know what the thinking is there.
That's exactly what the ordinance is saying. Pools in rural areas are not exempt. It doesn't matter which district you are, how big your parcel is. There has to be a fence around the swimming pool.
So even if you have a parcel that's more than 5 acres, you still,
Doesn't matter. Size does not matter. If you have an in-ground swimming pool, it needs to have a fence.
all right? I think I must have read this wrong then.
The only thing 5 acre and parcel is the ornamental fence in the front yard. When you have a parcel that large, people generally have horses, so having a 3-foot fence is of no use to them. The horse can jump it, so.
okay. All right, now we'll do the call of the public comments. So please come up, state your name, address, and then you'll get 3 minutes.
Robert Turbush, 5192 Noller Road, said property, bringing this to awareness. Thank you all for tonight. So like yourself, David, reading that and the sections which I printed off for people which you obviously have in front of you. I have 30.95 acres. It is a USDA farm. Since 23, built a house in the middle of the field. The backyard and the in-ground pool is past the front yard fence. When looking at a pool, when looking at the state code, when talking to pool companies, they said, you're prime for a auto safety cover, which I have some documents for you all as well. My insurance company is State Farm. When you talk to insurance companies, when you talk to builders, when you talk to pool installers, there's a higher rating for safety with the auto cover. As she stated, and as all the rules state pertaining swimming pools, and may I read, it's all for preventing children from having access to an area where the potential for drowning or near drowning is very high. Thus, when adults choose to leave the pool and spa area, common sense dictates that all children should leave the area and be taken outside the perimeter. So this is if it's a safety cover or a gate or a fence. It's my home. I'm not looking to be not safe, okay? When we have a fence that a 7-year-old can climb, maybe not a 2-year-old, but a 7-year-old who can't swim, who can reach the gate cover and open the gate, who an adult, not being an adult, doesn't close the gate, has access to a pool that's not covered. Most of the time in these situations, there's a solar cover presented that does not prevent someone that has fallen in from being in enough water to drown, but to be tangled in and not get their way out. The safety cover keeps the chemicals right, keeps someone from falling in. This cover star that is coated will handle 500 pounds in any particular area. You can lay it down. Someone intoxicated passes out and falls in your pool, they cannot drown. We all know horses, deer can jump a 4-foot fence. We know raccoons and possums can crawl through 4-inch gates, climb fences. They cannot end up in your pool. So if we're worried about children, neighbors, so on and so forth, I think if we're underlining community safety, the power cover is the safety. And I'm out of time.
All right, thank you. Would anybody else like to come and address the Planning Commission?
Chris Marinkovich, 28537 Mile Road. I guess to second his comment in regards to safety, I can completely understand in a rural area, in a neighborhood, things like that of that nature, but on over 5 acres or 10 acres, there really should be nobody on your property that you didn't invite over, you then also have full control of either closing a gate or turning a switch to close the pool cover. So to just kind of assist in his comments, that's just what I wanted to share.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, I make the motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
Motion by Stanalecho, support by Chick. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you. Report from the committee's Board of Trustees. Ms.
Okay, the
Chick.
board met twice since the planning commission met last. The board met on August 12th, received a proposal from OHM for repair and paving of the community center parking lot. South lot is deteriorating, and the north lot, which is a geo-paving system, and it's not held up and cannot be plowed in the winter. Estimate was $50,000 per lot for asphalt. Questions were asked about whether there was a need for a rain garden or not, since the lot with an impervious surface the runoff will run towards the railroad easement. So we didn't have that information. OHM had not included that in their proposal. The concern is the runoff would impact the right-of-way ROW behind the center. Additionally, there are questions about a work proposal already approved for OHM that had not been completed and was behind schedule. A motion was made to bid out for proposals, and the RFP has been posted. A motion was also made to approve the farmland and preservation program for 5 acres of an 80-acre parcel at 7084 Spencer Road was made and approved. There was a continuing discussion regarding the MAP collective bargaining agreements and MERS fund. That item was tabled. The township also received a request from Salem Township for police services. A cost analysis was provided. 2 officers will be hired and a car and equipment provided. A motion was also made and passed to have the township attorney draft a formal contract with Salem with the cost projection provided by the Northfield Township Police Department. The board met again on August 26th. The board held a public hearing for conditional use at 9411 Main Street. Motion was made and the request approved for a conditional use permit for a single-family residential on the first floor of the building. The board received an update from OHM on the community park split and park project status report. OHM provided a timeline for the work done and future planned projects. Findings of the split have been completed. Irons will be placed. Once the township approves the legal descriptions, they can complete the field work. According to the timeline, McKenna will receive the park site plan December 2025. Planning Commission will have the site plan January 2026, and the shoreline project is expected to be built out by fall of 2026. Land Preservation Committee submitted a recommendation for a People's Company to perform appraisals of 2 properties, one on Nuller Road and the other on Sutton, for proposed inclusion in our land preservation program. A motion was made and approved to pay People's Company $3,250 per property for the appraisals, and that is all I have.
All right, very good. ZBA, Mr. Zarzaki.
The ZBA has not met since our last meetings.
All right. Staff, Julie, would you like to say anything? Any comments? Okay. Planning consultant? All right. Park and Rec. All right, well, Ms. Chick brought this up as a comment. We don't have currently a Park and Rec board representative from the Planning Commission. So if somebody would like to volunteer to do that, you know, please, you know, consider that. Okay?
Consider that. I need to find out the details.
Okay.
And meeting frequency and things like that.
Okay.
Maybe talk afterwards.
I think, Julie, you could help him out with that. Could you help him out with the information for that? If he, you know, if he wants to do that. Okay, great.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yes.
I don't see why we couldn't get creative. I can't commit to doing that full-time. I've done that before. I was the Board of Trustees representative on the Parks and Rec committee for several years. I can't commit to doing it full-time. I could commit to doing it half-time if Mr. Kennedy finds that his commitment would only be half-time, if he would only want to do it half-time as well, is what I'm trying to say. If you want it full-time, please, by all means. But rather than not have a rep, I'm willing to do it, but only half measure.
Okay, well, I think that's a good consideration, so. All right, great. So anyways, we don't have anything from the Park and Rec. Land Preservation, Mr. Gordon.
We had, at the end of August, another new resident who is applying for preservation status, 35-acre parcel on East 5 Mile, which is great. So that's always exciting news when another parcel is available for preservation, and we will be working to make sure that that can happen and finding the money to do it. There's a long process involved. I did notice that on the application, Mr. Lloyd's name is still there, but I'm sure that's going to be gone soon. And Mr. McDonough's name would replace that, I would assume. That's all I have. Thank you.
So tell me if I'm wrong, was there some monies already spent on preservation for some parcels, some smaller parcels, or did I read something wrong?
The board approved,
Oh, just for those?
For the appraisals.
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah, for
Okay.
the appraisals, and this is a new
That's part of
parcel.
the process.
Right, this is a new application
Okay.
that's just come in.
Great. Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. And this comes with a recommendation to the Township Board to approve or deny the rezoning of requests for 955 East North Territorial, parcel B 00220100020 from RTM, which is Research, Technology, and Manufacturing, to LI Limited Industrial. Does anybody want to have any discussions on anything? All right, so I will make the motion then. Oh, yeah, Mr. Thomas, sure.
So, Ms. Christian, how many parcels are currently in the RTM area, if you know?
I don't have an exact count of it, but it's about around 10
About,
10 to 12 parcels.
do you have a sense for, and I won't hold you to it, but do you have a sense for the approximate acreage of those?
They're all of different sizes. I know that a couple of parcels north of the subject site is owned by the same person, and I know in the back there is a 40-acre parcel. There is quite a bit of acreage over there.
Okay.
Even though there are very few parcels, they do occupy a significant chunk of acreage.
And that's the only RTM in the township, right?
Yes.
Do we know when that was designated RTM zoning? Is it 20 years? Is it 15 years?
It, yeah, it's definitely before, at least 10 years old. It was there before I even came on board. So I know Arvind Sango has been there for 10 years, and Arvind Sango was reviewed under RTM. They came in after the zoning district, so it's probably closer to 15 years at least.
Oh, did you read the Dickinson Wright letter?
I did.
In there, I believe that they wrote that BMI was one of the primary drivers behind the development of that property.
Yep.
So I don't know, though, when BMI started in that. That probably would answer that question, but it doesn't specify.
So the zoning currently at RTM, their use does not fit with permitted uses by right, correct?
Correct.
Their proposed, the applicant's proposed use. Does the applicant's proposed use fit in a conditional use of RTM?
No,
It doesn't.
no.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? All right. Yeah, Jim, Mr. Kennedy, sure.
Just for clarification, so I appreciate your desire to expand inside the township. I'm trying to understand, I guess, you mentioned, Vijay, that what they want to do does not fit within RTM. What specifically, and I just want to make sure I understand, what is it specifically, why couldn't they operate in an RTM zoning area? What precludes them from doing that?
Without having the paperwork in front of me, I cannot exactly tell you, but the fact that their use operates on 6 Mile Road, and this is an expansion of the use that they're doing over there. Several aspects of their use as it currently exists over there is not permitted over here, including having outdoor storage of equipment, vehicles, and processes. If you look at quality air up on 6 Mile, there are vehicles parked outside. It's a HVAC contracting business. There are vehicles parked outside, there is storage, there is a massive scrap metal dumpster. Those are all integral parts of the use, which the applicant should be allowed to do their business the way they want to. All those aspects of the use are not permitted under the RTM district. It does not meet the performance standards. The RTM is a research park kind of district. It is not an industrial area. Our industrial area, if you drive down Whitmore Lake Road, those are the uses. Those are the uses, like National Fiber. If you see the amount of outdoor storage, it is similar.
Any other comments? Questions? All right. So here's my motion. My motion is to recommend to the Township Board denial of case JPC 250005, which is a request for the rezoning of parcel B0220100020 from RTM to LI for the following reasons. There has been no change to the area or conditions of the site. The rezoning of the parcel is incompatible with the Northfield Township Master Plan. Then the rezoning is also incompatible with the future land use of the current Northfield Township Master Plan. The rezoning would create spot zoning of a parcel within a district which is not allowed. And the stipulations given along with the rationale for denial stated in the McKenna letter to the Planning Commission dated August 22nd, 2025.
Support.
All right, motion by Stanilecho, support by Mr. Zarzeki. Any discussions on this? All right, I guess we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Thomas?
Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Zarzeki.
Yes for the motion.
Mr. Stanilecho.
Yes.
Ms. Chick.
Yes.
Ms. Ganna. Mr. Thomas votes yes. Mr. Gordon.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. The motion carries. And we'll move on to recommendations to the Township Board of Trustees for the adoption of an amendment to Section 36-715 of the zoning ordinance as presented and amended to clarify the standards for fence and in-ground swimming pools.
I'll support.
No, I didn't make the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just reading that.
Okay.
All right. Now I'll make the motion to recommend to the Township Board to adopt the amendment for Section 36-715 of the zoning ordinance as presented to clarify the standards for fences for an in-ground swimming pool. All right. Motion by Stanilecho, support by Chick. Is there any discussions on that? Mr. Gordon?
Ms. Christian, I'm kind of stuck on subsection K under exemptions. It says that residential lots larger than 5 acres not recorded in a recorded subdivision shall be exempt from height restrictions, but that's all they're exempt from. They're not exempt from having to actually put in a fence. Is that the distinction that's being made there?
So subsection K is talking about exemptions of fence. It's talking about D1, fences located on residential lots shall comply with these regulations. So residential lots, currently the way the ordinance is written, in residential lots within the front yard setback area, your fence has to be ornamental in nature and cannot be more than 3 feet tall. So 5 acres and parcels larger than that, it makes no sense. So they are exempt from the requirement. But the swimming pool regulations has been always applied. If you look at the ordinance language as it's currently written, even without my clarification, it literally says, private swimming pools and any container so used and capable of holding water to a depth of 24 inches or more, when filled to capacity, shall be completely enclosed by a fence not less than 4 feet or more than 6 feet in height of a material approved by the building inspector. This is the ordinance as it has stood for decades, as it has been enforced. Because the question came up and the gentleman said, the clarification was added that it is in ground to specify that the rules that have always been applied. So it's not something that homeowners or property owners are being made to do. And this ordinance is not going to be retroactively applicable to anybody. Nobody is going to go out there and tell pools that might have been built decades ago or under whatever rules that they have to put in a fence. But this has been the rule at least as far back, I can only speak for since when I have started reviewing it, 2016. This has always been the application.
All right, thank you.
So just to clarify, so for some people, that if the township board does follow through a recommendation and passes this ordinance, that will only end up affecting people moving forward from the time of that ordinance.
So technically, the ordinance should have always required this fence.
Got it, all right.
I cannot
That-
speak
You don't
for
need
what
to say anything
happened
else, all right.
before.
So this ordinance is already on the books.
Yes,
All right. We're just doing a clarification, so it's nothing
Correct.
new. We're just clarifying what we're meaning.
Correct.
All right, fair enough. Yep, Mr. Thomas.
So at the risk of really hammering this, because I can still sense my colleagues' frustration over here, if the subsection K exemptions, if the change read shall be exempt from provisions of subsection D6, we'd have a real problem.
yes.
And that's the problem that Mr. Gordon is reading into, or was reading into. I don't want to speak for him. But that's the problem that I think Mr. Gordon was reading into, that it was exempting a whole broad category of people from having to have a fence.
Yes, so the ordinance is not exempting them.
Okay.
It's not exempting D6 specifically. I do want to acknowledge the public comment received. As the gentleman read out, common sense would dictate that once the pool is used, the cover should come back up. But people can be forgetful. People should not be on other people's property where they don't belong, but people do go on there. So all the concerns stated were valid, but they are based upon one person, the understanding that one person will follow through on being responsible. But the ordinance looks out for the safety of the entire township. It's not being written based upon one person's upstanding desire to actually follow the rules with the pool cover. So,
Okay.
Ms.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy.
So I fully support clarification so that there's not misunderstanding. I'd like to actually have a discussion. I personally believe that if you have 5 acres, having a pool cover is fine. I think that actually meets the intent. They are very safe. And if you're on 5 acres, no 2-year-old should be, because a fence is really, in my view, protecting the 2-year-old, the 3-year-olds who are unsupervised walking next door in a subdivision. And I think we should have those, absolutely. I think when you're on 5 acres or more, you're not going to have little kids, all right, and a 7-year-old, as the point was made, can get over any 4-foot fence. They cannot get under a locked cover, and the electric covers are locked. So actually, in the 5-acre situation, I agree with the comment from the gentleman that the pool cover is actually safer than the fence. So I would actually support adding the fact, the exemption for the fence if you've got a pool cover and you're over 5 acres. It's just my perspective.
Ms. Chick.
So I can appreciate everybody's view on this, except that there's that one child in one instance that even on a 5-acre property that can make their way to that pool without a pool cover. So I would rather err on the side of safety.
So I'm going to express my opinion on this now, too. I live on 12 acres. I don't have an in-ground pool, but when I moved out here and had my children and they were small, I built a fence around their play structure, particularly to basically keep them in or out, depending upon what the decision was going to be. I did it for their safety, not because anybody else was going to come and I'm on my property and go use a swing set or whatever. I understand as they got older, it was not relevant. The thing is, for me, I don't see the point in not making this happen, regardless of the size. You're not doing it because people are going to wander in and go swimming at your pool at night. It's to protect your own children. You can put in any devices you want to. There are some devices that, you know, when there would be a motion sensor and things would happen. I don't see the point that we're even arguing over this. This is to protect your children. And if this is an additional measure, I don't see the argument, frankly. It's just my opinion, so. Mr. Gordon.
I would tend to agree with Mr. Kennedy in the sense that if insurance companies think that a pool cover is safer, I mean, I'd be interested to see what their an insurance company's opinion would be. Would they give you a reduction if you put in a fence also? I mean, because you can't stop everything from happening no matter what security system you put in. But if the industry thinks that a pool cover is safer than a fence, and you're on 5+ acres, you know, it just seems like it might be a regulation that we don't need.
Ms. Chick.
So if I think we're going to take that stance, then we would have to mandate that everybody had a safety cover on every in-ground pool. Can we do that?
So here is, if I may, just playing the devil's advocate. The argument was offered that which 2-year-old is going to go and climb into a pool because the homeowner is going to be responsible. Do people who live on 5 acres and larger parcels never have guests? Do they never have people visiting with little children? Do grandchildren not visit their grandparents? What happens when that one child that does not follow the rule goes into the pool? Secondly, I would never use the insurance industry as a benchmark for writing zoning regulations.
Exactly.
I have seen n number of incidences where the insurance company has found every tiny little loophole to deny payment for a structure once it burns down, saying, you know what, I've had insurance company reach out to me and say, the structure burnt down, it wasn't lawfully built, was it? Was it a non-conforming structure? Like they're trying to feed it to me that the structure was non-conformingly built, hence the tiny rider provision in your insurance prevents us from paying you out for whatever happened. I have been asked that, so I would never use the insurance company as a benchmark for deciding whether zoning regulations will protect people. I don't think that's what the insurance companies are in the business of.
And I'm going to go one step further. It's great you got a pool cover. Let's face it, you're not getting it, you're not putting the pool cover out and in when you're out throughout the day. All right, it's that you're not going to do that. Anybody that says they're going to do that, they're misleading, because we all know you open it up, people go in and out through the whole day. The fence is in order to help prevent why it's open, people from going in that aren't supposed to, or kids from going in. So it's great you have a pool cover on that's all electronic, and you know you can have a 500-pound person fall on it, but that only matters when it's closed, not when it's open.
Right, and the same thing goes for a gate.
And I don't. Well, that's true.
You know.
But there's no perfect thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For me personally, I don't see it's only a dollar and cents thing. To me, we're arguing over a dollar and cents thing, and you're never going to convince me that it's not a safety thing.
I'm not trying to convince
my
anybody. I was
personal
just trying to
feeling,
make
so.
a point. And Ms. Christian, I don't look at insurance companies as trustworthy sources of information. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, again, I don't want to beat this horse particularly much, but I'm in support of the ordinance as presented. The only thing I would add is I would look at a potential carve-out if we're going to try and differentiate between subdivision versus large rural, but it can't be based on acreage. And the reason I say that is because my own home, I've got a neighbor, we've got 2 5-acre parcels. I can look at my neighbor's house, it's like 30 or 40 feet away from my house, and it's 2 5 acres. If I had a pool, I would have a fence, because no offense to my neighbor's kids, and he's 30, and I don't want him coming over and falling in my pool.
Is he short?
Because he's kind of, well, he knows who he is, and he's a good kid, but he's not so bright. But anyway, we'd have to come up with some other differentiation between, other than just acreage.
So I do want to clarify once more. This is the ordinance that has always been applied, and every single pool that I have approved in the last 9 years, every single homeowner has put in the fence without being asked. They look at the ordinance, they put in the fence, and they have come. So because the question was raised, a clarification was decided to make. Because as the ordinance is written today, even without this clarification, I will not sign off on a zoning compliance without a fence. Whether this passes or fails, the fence will be required.
All right. Well, we have a motion on the floor or on the table, so let's take a vote. Let's do a roll call vote.
Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Zarzaki?
Yes.
Mr. Stanilecho?
Yes.
Ms. Chick?
Yes.
Ms. Ganem? Mr. Thomas votes yes. Mr. Gordon?
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, well, since the new business, I guess I kind of jumped over that earlier, so sorry about that.
Can I just make a comment on that? Oh, we have a representative from Parks and Rec here, so if Mr. Kennedy or Mr. Thomas want to speak with him. Yeah. Okay.
Well, why don't you end up working with them afterwards until we get it figured out, and then we can end up addressing it and making the...
Oh,
What's that?
I was going to talk during the next public.
as an agenda item.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we have two people saying that they will work together to work on that with you, so if you just worked with them...
Yeah, I can talk with them afterwards.
Yeah, and that way you can work it out, and we can make the appointment next time, so they can, whoever wants to go next time can still attend.
I would encourage it.
Okay. That make sense? All right. Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Will that work?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You asked me 2 questions.
Yes.
Yes,
It's yes and yes then.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have next the approval of the preceding minutes with the July 21st, 2025 joint training meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the Planning Commission and Zoning Board minutes of special meeting training session July 21st, 2025.
All right, motion by Chick, support by Zarzaki. Is there any corrections or issues? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next, we'll go to the August 6th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
I will make a
Minutes?
motion to approve the Northfield Township Planning Commission minutes of regular meeting August 6th, 2025, and dispense with reading.
All right, motion by Chick, support by Zarzaki. Mr. Gordon, you see a correction?
I just had one correction or a clarification on page 2, middle of the page, left-hand side, land preservation, second bullet point. Third sentence down, the current administration could be construed to be our township administration, and I was referring to the Trump administration, not the township administration.
Do you
All
want
right,
to switch current to Trump?
Sorry?
What do you want to change it to?
The Trump administration.
all right, so it'd be 9F. Second bullet point, 1, 2, third line down. So you want to strike current and put in Trump. Okay. Very good. Anything else? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, the motion carries. Final call of the public. Anybody who would like to come up and speak? 3 minutes, please.
Just as a response, I think you all had valid points and views. On my 30.95 acres, on my tax bill, I have a 5 to 6 acre marsh that borders Joy Road, is closer to the 3 houses across the street than my house, or the 3 other ponds that are almost as close to my house as the pool. The house was zoned, built, Eagle, the whole bit was out and said where to put the house, okay? So if there's a fence around my pool and not around my pond and not around my marsh, which if I walk in, can hardly get out, then I need a fence. And because it is a farm, there is an older barbed wire and farm fence around the perimeter. Now the farm has changed from 40 acres to 30.95, so it's not exactly all the way around the property. Second, we have a little bit more, and I think clarification to this is great. I support it. Where this came about is there was not clarification, and the clarification from the building official at the time, Kirk Malcolmson, was on site and issued a building permit on July 14th with pool cover, did not need the thing. So,
Hold on.
I was talking to Julie. I did submit it without a fence. It did come back from zoning needing a fence. Then I called in, said, could we have some meetings? Has this ever been looked at by the board? It was getting late into the summer. I'm not really going to use the pool much anyways. Then when Kirk come out, he said, no, this is a prime example, over 5 acres. It's a quarter mile, 400 plus yards to anybody to my house. I did submit the plan without a fence, and then it was denied, and I submitted it with a fence. I had to redraw it a little bit. I totally understand, but we're in a predicament here where once I was permitted pool with cover, we dug, we set the footings, we had the rough inspection, and began the pool. The sides were set, the rails were in for the power cover, the box for the motor for the power cover's in. Then there's a discussion about we must still need the fence. So I would not have put the pool in with a power cover knowing I have to put in the fence. I would have went down a different road, we would have put the fence in and not the power cover if that's where we ended in 3 months from now.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, this is just it's not a back and forth, so, yeah. Yeah. Okay, any other person want to come and speak? All right. Comments from the commissioners? Mr. Gordon? Mr. Thomas? No. Ms. Gannon? Did I say that right? Gannon. Ms. Chick? All right. Mr. Kennedy? You're good? Mr. Zarzaki? Thank you. Okay. As I always end our meetings, seeing as how a couple months ago, well, even not, what's a couple months ago? Yeah, it is now. I was gone for my active duty training, so I want to make sure we keep our men and women in uniform in our thoughts and prayers. Their sacrifices daily are what's allowing us to have our freedom of expression and have meetings like this. And with that, I make the announcement for the next regular meeting, which is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, 7 p.m. And I make a motion to adjourn. Support. Motion by Stanilaicho, support by Zarzaki. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Have a good night.